Wow, welcome back to episode 72 of the Sim Racing Show. And this episode we are starting with a leaked image I've got of what looks to be a new Fanatec wheel. And if you've been eagle-eyed in previous episodes, you will have seen behind me this wheel here. Now, this is my beloved Fanatec McLaren GT3 V2 wheel that I used for years to race and win, for example, in Gran Turismo Top Split. And I get a lot of emails from people letting me know about new products, new rumours, but this one has been very interesting because I don't think this is fake. It looks too real to me, and basically what we have is the successor, it seems, to this wheel. So it looks like Fanatec at some point have been working on and hopefully are going to release a unbranded version of the Fanatec McLaren GT3 V2, which is one of the all-time Hall of Fame wheels in sim racing. And this wheel I bought with my own money for under £200. Yes, that was quite a few years ago, but under £200. And I would, in a heartbeat, buy a new version again for around that price point, and the McLaren branding doesn't matter to me. So this is insane. I'm having a look at this wheel here. It looks like the new one is exactly the same. I'll put them up side by side now so you can have a look. Let me know what you think about this. It's also insane coming today because yesterday Logitech released a McLaren rim. So Logitech, it seemed, had the exclusivity with McLaren, and maybe that's to do with the timing of how I've received this image. But it looks like Fanatec at some point, and hopefully still are, working on actually, in a way, a successor to their McLaren wheel. Now, we're going to get into Logitech's new hardware. I've also got a message directly from Thrustmaster about issues with the T598. There's been some more leaks from Kunos, again, who leaked the Logitech base. There's a secret project, it seems, from Kunos, and this could be massive. We'll break it down. Le Mans Ultimate is going to 1.1 and it looks like it could be a turning point for the game. We've actually just got a release date today for Rennsport, just weeks before Project Motor Racing, but with a big controversy that people don't like online, it seems. So this week is just full of leaks and big releases. Let's get into it. So going back to this leaked Fanatec image, the reason why this is so important is that the actual Fanatec McLaren GT3 wheel was a product that bridged, unbelievably, the absolute entry level all the way up to high end. So you could buy this with a CSL Elite like I did, like a belt-driven wheel, but you could very happily use it on a Fanatec podium, like kind of top of the range direct drive wheelbase. And for £200, we're not really seeing that these days. When you look at some wheels from Conspit, for example, with screens in there, or SimMagic, they come in higher than £200. When you look at the Logitech wheel and rim that we're going to talk about later in this video, they come in higher than £200. So this could be indicative of where Corsair and Fanatec see the future if they have been concepting, at some point at least, a unbranded Fanatec McLaren wheel. And it's important to say, this went off sale, if my maths is correct, if my memory is correct, on the 31st of July 2025. And when we saw Logitech come out with that RS McLaren rim just yesterday, we all thought that that's because Fanatec have lost the license, but maybe, given how the reception has been to that McLaren wheel from Logitech, which we'll get onto, maybe Fanatec are going to have the last laugh, we'll see. And by the way, later on we will talk about those rumoured Fanatec podium pedals, so make sure you wait till the end. But now for something that has actually been released, only a day old, it is the Logitech RS50 bundle, and finally Logitech's actual McLaren wheel, which is proving to be very controversial. But the RS50 is firmly starting a mid-range direct drive war. It directly competes with the Fanatec CSL DDs, the GT DD Pros, Moses R5 and R9, and Thrustmaster's T598, and technically T818 as well. And I have a big comparison video coming on those later in the week. But why is the RS50 a threat to these other mid-range brands? Well, it has a PlayStation and PC compatible wheelbase with 8 Newton meters of torque, that's peak torque. It's got a quick release system that should work with an ecosystem of Logitech rims that really comes alive. But in any event, you can already buy the Logitech quick release separately and just put your PC rims in it already. It's got an inbuilt screen for console, for adjustments on console and PC if you want to. and obviously it comes with True Force as well. The base on its own starts for $349 for PC only, which is already one of the biggest bargains in sim racing. But if you want the bundle with a wheel and a desk clamp, not pedals, if you want the bundle with a wheel and desk clamp, that's already going up to $699. So the catch there is that that bundle doesn't include the new RS pedals that have a 75 kg load cell, and they look to be already on pre-order in the United States. So the RS50 is firmly going after Fanatec, Mozart and Thrustmaster. Can Logitech claim this kind of mid-range for itself? Now, we are going to speak about leaked footage again from Kunos, who originally leaked the RS50. Before that, I want to let you know about a massive discount on racing games from today's sponsor, Instant Gaming. So Instant Gaming currently have Le Mans Ultimate for 41% off discount for just $28, and Assetto Corsa Evo for 37% off, so it costs $29. So definitely go check out Instant Gaming using my affiliate link in the description if you want to see the latest, biggest, I think, discount on sim racing games. I work with them to try and make sure they have sim racing games in stock. So big thanks to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. Now, it looks like Kunos are maybe not super careful, or maybe they do it deliberately, with keeping secrets away from the public eye. Now, this week, my editor Ross from Traction suggested that there is evidence there is a new Assetto Corsa game on the horizon, and Kunos are already working on it. So how do we know this? So in two of Assetto Corsa Evo's showroom options, you can see a row of photo frames displaying Kunos' greatest hits, including Assetto Corsa, Assetto Corsa Competizione and Netcar Pro. However, on the floor, in an unopened frame ready to be hung on the wall, featuring game artwork we've never seen before from Italian studio, is something else. Do you think Kunos has leaked something accidentally? Is it a deliberate leak? Could it be a new Assetto Corsa? Could it be something else? I mean, what a crazy week it's been this week for leaks and new releases, so let me know. It's also a big week at Studio 397 because Le Mans Ultimate is dropping version 1.1, and this one is, some people are calling it a game changer. So European Le Mans Series will officially be in the game. Everyone's going to get access to the EMS race format, liveries, and the revised, I believe, like it's the uprated LMP2 car as well. On top of that, DLC Pack 1, it is Le Mans Ultimate. There is going to be paid DLC. That's how they roll. So there's DLC Pack 1 launching September 23rd with Silverstone and an LMP3, and that kicks off a 3-pack ELMS season pass. So packs 2 and 3 will follow by early 2026, bundled at about £8.99 each, I think, or cheaper through a pass. Now, I'll leave my thoughts on the paid DLC for another day. The game is out of early access now, so there is no problem doing that, in my opinion. I think there was a problem doing that in early access, but regardless, Silverstone is a huge addition. So it's a laser scanned version. It does start with the national pit lane layout, but apparently it is going to expand with the GP and shorter layouts later as well. Big grids are coming too, with up to 44 cars on track in future updates. And if you're into endurance, the third driver swap test is going to be the 6 Hours of Fuji. That's coming on October 3rd to 5th, that time period, with engineer mode back in action. Career mode, still in the works, I understand it, and also hosted endurance races may be coming in the next update. There are going to be custom liveries as well. You can test and race them offline. The numbers should work properly. Apparently they weren't working properly before. And the livery hub, so you can browse the hub and share paint schemes in-game. There's going to be regional servers as well on the roadmap, as I understand it, which should cut latency further. And I did criticise the Ultimate a lot at launch, but I have to say, they're in their stride now. The game looks promising to me. Hopefully some of those earlier packs can go on discount, or we can start kind of sweeping them up. So let me know your thoughts about Le Mans Ultimate. Now, speaking of big news, leaks and controversies, Rennsport has just locked in a console release date, but it has been involved in some controversy with sim racers. The game is dropping on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC with both standard and deluxe editions, and it's landing on November 13th, just 2 weeks before Project Motor Racing's big debut on the same platforms. Now, we know the deluxe includes a Nordic Life Porsche 911 GT3R as well, and the console launch comes with pre-orders, and now there are some early bonuses if you jump in early. So 72-hour early access, you can hit the track for everyone else. Exclusive Ford Mustang GT3, but Reddit is heating up with comments on this one. It's a bit controversial putting that Ford Mustang behind essentially a paywall on console. So what do you think about the Rennsport moves? And what do you think about the battle between Rennsport and Project Motor Racing on console? Now let's talk about Project Motor Racing. Well, Straight4 Studios has just revealed it signed a deal with IMSA, which potentially paves the way for several of those endurance cars and tracks to come to Project Motor Racing. And they've already been teasing that Ford Mustang GT3. So it's an easy win for Project Motor Racing if they make sure that's in the game. That writes the marketing for it against Rennsport, so we'll see what they do. Now, as promised, we are going to speak about McLaren wheels, and it's not about Fanatec anymore. So finally, Logitech G has collaborated with McLaren on a sim racing rim. It's the RS Formula Wheel McLaren Racing Edition, which I think the marketing speak says it's inspired by McLaren's 2024 F1 rim. If you read any articles or videos that just say that verbatim, whoever's the journalist or the writer or the YouTuber just doesn't understand what McLaren's F1 rim actually looks like, because this RS one doesn't really look like it. It maybe has a very faintest of like illusions to it, but this is very much like the RS track. I would say it's actually probably going to be more comfortable as a GT3 wheel. It is built from aluminium and polycarbonate, and it does also, it's a rim, so you can change it on the button box that Logitech have with round wheels or the RS track wheel. The price, $129. So it's not super, it's cheap in the sense of when you compare it against F1 wheels, like for example, the SF1000, or even obviously the SimLab F1 wheel that I've got as well. But then it's not really an F1 wheel, I would say. It doesn't have a screen on it. And I feel like F1 wheels, unless you go back to Williams back in the day, these days they need to have screens. Now, what about Fanatec? So Fanatec, are they deliberately going head to head with this new leaked, whatever they're going to call it now, if it comes out, GT3 rim versus the Logitech? Because I think the Fanatec GT3 looks probably more competitive than that. But what if Fanatec also follow up with the podium pedals that are strongly rumoured? There are paddock whispers, none of this is confirmed, but there are paddock whispers about podium pedals. And I know those are arguably the most demanded item from Fanatec. So Fanatec could be coming back with a bang. Now, I did get in contact with Thrustmaster about the issues that a lot of you have been having with the T598, and they have come back to me. Thrustmaster said there is an issue. So confirm there is an issue with the T598, which they're taking very seriously, as it doesn't reflect the level of experience they want to provide. And basically what's happening is some T598 customers are experiencing unexpected disconnections while playing. Now, Thrustmaster say they've now identified this cause, and it's a defective component, which is a female connector on the power supply, which they say has been replaced in all production batches since March. And they also say if you're a customer who bought a T598 from a previous production batch and experienced this issue, there is now an official process to replace the connector ASAP. So what I would do is, if you have an issue, let me know in the comments, write to Thrustmaster and mention that you've seen this video on my channel, and there should be a process for you to get it replaced. I'll follow up with them again and see what the plan is going forwards. But yeah, what a crazy week for sim racing. Make sure you like, hype, and share this video on the forums, and I'll see you in next week's sim racing show with yet more exclusives.